Welcome to the NEPA Scene Podcast. We're coming to you live from Cole Creative in downtown Wilkes-Barre. I'm Rich Howells. I'm the founder and editor of NEPA Scene.
I'm John Popko from Time Shamrock Communications with Rock 107, ESPN Radio, and Alt 92.1. And I'm also the Saturday night host of Alt Natives on Alt 92.1 at 9 o'clock.
And my name's Brittany Boote. I'm the owner of Boote Photography Studio.
And you should probably introduce our guest.
This is my brother, Brian.
South Wilkes-Barre resident.
District manager of Bath Fitter.
Regional, actually.
Regional, sorry. Excuse me.
Get it right,
He has a real Vince Vaughn vibe.
And why are they here?
So they're here to talk about the 8th annual Shots for Tots holiday party at Barton Irby's in Wilkes-Barre, which is next Saturday, December 16th. So Brittany is the one who masterminded that event, put that together, and with some help from Brian here and a bunch of other people. So
yeah,
we're going to talk about what's in store there and the charity that it benefits and all that good stuff, as well as the NEPA Scene Fest, which is coming up this Saturday at the Backyard Ale House in Scranton. I'm glad it's not the same date as your thing.
Yeah.
Because we'd be competing. So that was put together by a whole bunch of our fans, which is really cool. It's the first NEPA Scene event that I have absolutely nothing to do with, but it looks well organized. I hope it will be. I'm sure it's going to be a good time. It starts at 7 o'clock, and there's, I believe, 11 different acts, as well as 50-50 raffles with prizes from local businesses and things like that. So it's going to be a really good night. So we hope you come out to that. So if you have any questions about that event or Shots for Tots or anything else, you can leave those comments down below, and we'll definitely get to them at some point in the show. Now, before we get to the interview, we have some beers to drink from Beer Boys.
We do, as always. I was just down there grabbing these, and I was at there 6:05.
Yeah.
Packed house already.
I bet.
They open at 6 o'clock.
Do they have anything going on tonight, or just a regular night?
They have it's the regular like glass night and pizza night. I think it's Tommy Knocker, some kind of maple.
Oh
beer.
yes,
It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I had one, maybe two. But this is a Pizza Boy Hop Tart Sour Ale, Brittany's favorite.
Oh.
Sour ale.
And we have a Berwick Front Street Wheat.
That sounds good.
Yeah. And a Fegley's Framboise Lambic. So,
I like Framboise.
yeah, well, Ryan told me to combine the Berwick Front Street Wheat with the Fegley's.
Oh.
And it's kind of like a, what they call a Dirty Hoe.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Framboise is like too
before.
sweet sometimes on its own.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we should probably do that.
Let's do
Okay.
that first.
No, let's do the sour first.
Oh, we get to drink those here.
Yeah, like live.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you're gonna come here. You're gonna talk
Thank
about
God.
the
Yes.
benefit. and we're
Loosen
gonna-
you up a little
Right.
bit.
This is what we do there at the benefit. So
Well, then you could tell all these stories
That's what the benefit's all
about
about.
Brittany that you wouldn't have told publicly normally.
Well, you said it's uncensored show, but
It
I
is.
don't know if we want to go there. You know?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have any secrets.
Bullshit.
I really
come on,
don't.
It takes someone like me to
Have
really
something
bring
on
those
their other
secrets
side.
out in you,
We used to.
which you don't want to know about. I mean, come on, we don't want to talk
There's
about that, do
one.
we?
There's one. We used to play a game called when we were kids called Brittany Hits Us with the Bat.
Yeah,
Had what?
It was called Brittany Hits Us with the Bat. The game we used to play.
that's
when we
it.
were
That's what it
kids.
was called. That's the game. Brittany hits us with the bat.
So I would just chase him and my other brother Danny around with the bat.
You guys were real.
We were maniacs.
It's funny. It's like
Lot
my
of thought.
kids they're emulating that.
Yeah.
Like my youngest, she's 2. I mean, she's completely psycho.
She is
You know,
crazy.
she
She did a
is-
front flip off the chair the other
Yeah.
day.
She feels no pain.
Well, they're kids. They shouldn't.
You know, it's like, oh, they cry
This
a
is.
lot,
I
but
like this actually.
they'll cry. She'll cry, but it's not pain related. Trust me. It's just emotional.
More for attention.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What do you think about this?
I actually like it.
Yeah, is this not?
This is the sour one.
Oh, I thought we were taking a shot.
This is the
Car
yeah.
bomb?
This is the sour one.
When are we gonna do car bombs on the
Hop
show?
In front of the camera.
Pizza Boy Hop Tart.
Oh, this is different.
Mm-hmm.
What was the one that you gave me? I know there was 3 different.
We all
Well,
have
this
the
is
same
all
one.
the same. So this is the Pizza Boy Hop Tart Sour Ale, 6% ABV. One of the 72 beers on tap down at Beer
72
Boys.
beers on tap.
This is really different.
I like it. I know.
It's
do.
tart, but it's not too sour. Like some of the other sour beers can get that really
It's
fermented
drinkable.
sort of taste. But this
sour.
kind of hides that.
It's
a little
not,
bit
right?
with the tartness.
Oh, it's definitely sour.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it is. I don't.
No,
maybe
no.
it's just-
If you like splash them with like a splash of sour mix,
I
you get
don't
that little
like-
bit of like the sourness. It's not overbearing, but it's
yeah,
there.
that's more of like a
You know?
citrusy. It's not. I don't like foggy, yellow sour beers.
That's a very specific thing not to like.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, though.
No, it's very good though.
Well, since we are talking about shots for tots, by the way, I did bring a little surprise.
Oh.
And I
Are we
also-
doing shots for
I was
Tots?
wondering what was clanking around.
I said that
So,
purely by accident.
Yeah, I figured we'd get a little more truth serum going as
For the kids.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yeah,
for the
that's
kids.
that's really gonna
this
help.
is for the kids. I mean, that's the only reason we do that. And
That's
anything
gonna help.
that we
Yeah,
do.
All for the
absolutely.
kids.
Obviously,
Yo,
for the
this reminds
kids.
me of being a freshman in college, underage, parents out of town.
Filling it back up with water, stealing it from like
No,
your
no, we
parents'
never
liquor
took
cabinet.
theirs. We never took theirs.
Oh.
We just bought our own from.
Neither did
people.
I.
I was gonna tell you what that bottle reminded me of, but I don't think I
You
said.
don't
I
wanna
don't
go
think we
back
want
there?
to go there either.
You want to revisit?
'Cause, yeah, I saw the spider on the bottle, and it's like one of those bottles. You're like, oh, there's a. I don't remember the name brand, but I remember there's a spider on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
That's like a bad
Kraken,
habit,
which
that
has
one's
an
some point.
octopus.
That's probably good.
It smells
Oh,
like.
it's not a spider. It's an octopus.
That's
Okay.
the, oh, that
Even
one.
even better.
I'm having like deja vu right now. I don't know why.
Well, that 99 Peaches has probably been sitting in my closet for at least 2 years now.
How old is that?
That's only a couple months old.
Okay, well I'm not gonna do this then.
Yeah, that one's been in there for a
Let's
while.
do the rum.
But
Wait, are we gonna do shots?
we can, or I mean, do we want to make a drinking game out of it?
Well, that's up to
Oh,
you, man.
yeah,
I don't know.
that
We don't know
sounds
what your
fun.
day's been like. You know.
Let's not make a game out of it, but like, that's for the kids. You know?
Right. Yeah, for the kids.
For the kids.
So every time somebody says for the kids, we have to take a drink then.
Just for a second.
Yeah. So don't say that.
It's for the adults.
We also want to give a shout out to one of our other sponsors, the Keys in downtown Scranton. Their open mic is this Thursday, where they have $3 pints, boneless wings, and grilled gourmet cheeses, which are gourmet grilled cheeses. Which, if you haven't had their grilled cheese, it's pretty amazing. Now Friday, they're actually doing a thing with Peculiar Ramen, which is coming up. We're actually going to have him on a future show.
Yes, Gene will be here.
Gene Philbin, who has been on national television for his culinary expertise. He's opening a ramen shop in downtown Scranton, which is pretty cool. So you can preview that food at the Keys on Friday. And there's also music. There's a punk band, The Disorders, are playing Friday. So if you're into punk music, they pretty much cover all the greats. So you should definitely check that out. The Kirby Center is also a sponsor. They have Keller Williams is this Friday, December 8th, and trap singer Chris Taylor Brow acoustic on December 15th. And we also want to give a shout out to Loyalty Barbershop and Shave Parlor. They have locations in Scranton, Archbold, and a new shop in Wilkes-Barre. So, all right, now that I've gotten all that out of the way. I was already out of breath running here. So
I love a gourmet grilled cheese.
Me too.
I'm all about that.
The more cheeses,
Yeah.
the variety of your cheeses, the better.
I had a grilled
Or
cheese for lunch
because you
today.
could always there's so many different cheeses.
Yeah.
So you can get really creative with like making your gourmet, like the one that you like, your gourmet grilled cheese.
Brian's
Right.
a bit of a chef himself.
Oh, I love cooking.
Oh yeah.
What else is there to do?
You went to culinary school, but you didn't study culinary.
I went to a culinary school, but I didn't study culinary. Say I go to culinary.
just-
He went to culinary school. You know, he went to law school, but he didn't study law.
What do you study at law school if it's not law?
That's
What do
the
you
point.
study
I
at
don't know.
culinary school?
Good question.
Right.
That's where I'm getting at.
I went to a school that was renowned for their culinary program, but they had other programs too.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Sports management I studied.
He wanted to be Jerry Maguire.
Now I work at Bathfitter.
Show me the
Yeah. But I love Bathfitter. It's great company.
We're not here to talk about Bathfitter.
I almost interviewed at Bathfitter
Oh yeah.
a few years ago. Yeah,
Oh yeah. No.
like 8, 9 years ago. Maybe?
we have a great team of people there. The sales guys, they do very well.
My favorite thing about Bath Fitter is the commercials with the little jingle, because there's the saxophone guy at the end who like is just going ape shit on that saxophone. That's what I love about it. Like I was just
A lot of heart into that saxophone.
yeah. Every time that commercial comes on, I'm thinking that guy, he's got some soul, and he's just putting it into this Bath Fitter commercial.
It's like the Peyton Manning Nationwide,
right.
On your side.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we got our
exactly.
own jingle.
Like, he's
I have
you know,
Nationwide.
they have their commercials of the guy sitting at the piano and he's like singing it like it's like some kind of meaningful song. It's like, dude, you're selling insurance, man.
So
Chill,
I actually
take it
work with the reps that are out in the public promoting that brand.
Oh, okay.
So like one of the things that I always encourage them to say, because you're looking to talk to people that don't know who you are, say something funny, and they would say, hey, can you sing our jingle?
Do they
And
people ask
the
you
thing
that?
about it is you have to get their attention. So
Right.
it's very hard to start up a conversation with a complete stranger who's on a
Is
mission
it
to
the
go.
perfect fit jingle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll say, hey, can you sing our jingle? And it makes them kind of like, what'd you say? What jingle? Oh, the Bath Fitter jingle. Oh, yeah.
Sure,
and then,
here's $10,000.
but, the hardest part of their job is getting them to stop and talk. So,
Right. Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Does anybody watching know the Bath Fitter jingle?
Please, sax guy. Please tune in, sax guy. I want to hear your
Right,
story.
You just put it in the
I have to
backdrop
share.
of your show.
I would love to have him on. I would do a full interview
Perfect
just
fit.
with that
Bath
guy.
Fitter should sponsor an EPA scene.
Hey,
You
you know
ever
what?
think of
Maybe
that?
we can.
Yeah.
I have the potential to do that.
That would be pretty cool.
So after the show, we'll discuss those details.
Sure. Yeah. It would probably be boring if we discussed
Unless
that
your
in front
audience
of
is
everybody.
interested in
Maybe
Refitting
maybe
their
live
Yeah.
negotiation of
Yeah.
Bath Fitter, coming on board as a sponsor.
Oh gosh.
So now this is the 8th annual Shots for Tots.
Yeah.
All right. So you started this pretty young then.
I was 21.
Wow. Okay.
Hence name Shots for Tots.
Well, I love the imagery right off the bat.
Yeah.
I picture like people hanging tots like by their feet, like
Yeah.
pouring booze down their throats.
That's the
like,
idea.
Yeah. That's I'm sure that's what the whole event is really about.
That's what was my main motivation.
Right.
Just want to make a difference.
Getting tots completely black.
Do we have shot
Really
glasses?
just want to incriminate
We
the
do have
tots.
shot glasses.
Let's do for the kids.
For the kids.
The Toys for Tots drive was such a
But that
big
was
thing,
when I thought of the name for the party. I was just gonna have a Christmas party or Christmas/birthday party because my birthday's on the 21st. And when I thought about doing the toy drive, I was like, how can I get my friends out? That are all recently 21, and that was just seemed like the perfect name. Shots for Tots.
Oh yeah, totally fits.
Yeah.
So what goes on at these events?
It's like your basic
Drunk
traditional
babies.
Christmas party, but with really good live music and lots of food, and it's typically at a bar. I've had it at Bart and Irby's for 7 years. I had it at River Grill 1 year when there was a scheduling conflict at Bart and Irby's, which at River Grill was awesome too.
Yeah, it was good there too.
Yeah, they do like a really, really, really good job, especially with benefits.
Isn't that up though?
What?
7 years at Barton Irby's, 1 year at.
8 years. This will be the 8th year.
You said 7 at Barton Irby's, once at River Grill.
Yeah.
That's
I think
8.
it's been
That's
around.
That'll be
8.
9.
Next year will be 9.
Never mind.
You know what I'm saying?
We're missing the math, or
Yeah, if you had it 7 years at Barton Irby's, and you had it 1 year,
Oh, 6 years.
that's 8.
Okay.
7 and 1 is
Got
8.
it.
right.
But I was including this year in my math.
Oh. Okay. We're on target. It's that Common Core math that really fucked me up there. I don't know how to do that.
Should have went to culinary school.
I should have,
Right.
Then you could have studied math,
like, as you do.
as one does.
For the kids.
For the kids.
Yeah.
Can we reach?
Cheers. Salute.
If you have to, right?
Oh, God.
I didn't fill it up that much.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I think it's good for an event to maintain their location, and not just her event, any event really.
Sure.
Maintain their location.
I don't like
Because
to change things
At
up
least
too
for a
much.
few years.
If it's an annual
Yeah.
thing, people recognize your event. They recognize. Thing about events is you only get one shot, unless it's an inaugural event like hers, to make it, the right event. So
Johnny gets really upset when you say
Keep it the-
annual, but it's not annual when it's inaugural.
first annual.
Yeah, he
Can't do
drives
it.
him
You
nuts.
can't do it.
He'll call you right
I
out.
called him
Hey
out.
Johnny, you gonna come to my first annual soccer hop?
No, I won't because you said it wrong.
That's what we used to make fun.
I called out the Smiler.
Our brother Danny, I know. Our brother Danny, we have this big birthday party for him every summer, a big pool party. And
Special dance.
we call it special dance.
Special dance, whatever
Annual
birthday
party. But it's like, you can't have like annual and birthday in the same,
Right.
because it's like already.
Yeah, it's an annual event, the birthday.
But it's kind of like, it was kind of like making fun of him because he's like, can we start to plan my annual birthday party? I'm like, yeah, Dan.
How long do you think that's gonna go on for?
Till
So I'll be honest with you, those two events in the Boote family have been going on
yeah, like that's our summer.
hand in hand, like almost at the same time. So which is the first one that's gonna just fall underneath the cracks?
Someone's gonna get in
Right.
trouble
You know?
at one of Danny's gigs.
Yeah, or he's just not gonna be let at Dad's house. You know?
Yeah.
Dad's just like, I'm
Yeah, we're
tired
over it.
from this. You're gonna have to get your own pool, and
Dad-
throw your own party. You know.
That's the one that has the most fun though.
Oh, absolutely. He looks forward to that.
Yeah.
He starts, he's like, what is the saying on Christmas Story where the kid's talking about the old man with the turkey? He's like, the old man would salivate over the turkey all day. It's like, my dad's like that for
The parties.
special dance, whatever.
He
birthday
likes us to
party.
throw parties because he wants us to throw parties and like have a blast because we've been doing this for so long. But then like he also wants to be the one to like kick everybody out at 4 a.m.
Yeah, party's over.
Yeah, party's over. Like,
It's
that's
infamous.
like a famous line.
Infamous Fred Boote.
Famous line from my mom was,
Party's over.
"They're doing beer bongs on a weeknight."
Yeah, that's right. That's still going.
Yeah, we still say that one. But so that party's like our like the Boote summer party, and then this Shots for Tots has kind of like molded into like our family Christmas party
Absolutely.
in a way too.
Yeah, no, I mean I was gonna say it takes on a new some new character every year. I mean obviously our mother passed away a couple years ago, and the events started really being about trying to organize a scholarship in her name because she
That's
was
what it's
very much
yeah.
about her arts and we wanted you ever think you want your parent to have a legacy, and my mom would have loved this idea, so we started making it more about the funds and the actual cause of it is going to go to
Well, also-
someone who could use the money for to pursue an arts degree.
At the same time, so I always did the toy drive, and we collected toys, and I would donate to different local organizations. CEO being one of them, St. Vincent's Kitchen. I donated
Right.
to last year and the year before that. We've donated to the Janet Weiss Children's Hospital, and 2 years ago, I remember calling around. I would make my phone calls to these different organizations and asking them if they needed toys or if they had any suggestions of who might need toys, because I always kind of tried to give it to whichever organization needed them the most. And sometimes they would be like, we have so many that we're filtering.
I remember
through
that. That's crazy. That's
Which
great.
is
I mean, it's
amazing
great if they
that
have.
there's so many
you know.
efforts that people
Yeah.
are doing. There are so many toy drives, and Toys for Tots does a really good job. And I know a couple other local organizations like the Thomas Angle Foundation. They do a really good job, and they donate directly to families for whatever certain situations, like medical bills this year, or it's always like very circumstantial, which I think is really important too. But I realized that there were so many efforts doing the toy drive, and I still do it. Like, I still encourage people to bring a toy to donate. But I realized that wasn't even necessarily a need in
Right.
the community. It was so many people
Because
were
so
doing
many
it.
other people are already doing it.
Which is great. I mean,
Which is really
yeah.
awesome. It's like, wow, like so many people are like doing all these efforts and they're working. So, okay, how else can I navigate my energy?
Right.
Yeah.
And it was the same that year. Our mom had passed, and people donated money to the foundation, which I had never really dealt with before, and I never really wanted to.
Thank God our brother's a banker.
Yeah, I never really
What are we
wanted
gonna
to.
do with this money now?
When people,
Right.
even at Shots for Tots, if people wanted, like I never knew, like if people donated money, I would go buy more toys. One year I bought
Right.
gift certificates from Target to give to families with like older kids that might not be into toys, like whether they're into sports or games or whatever, they can get whatever. But anyway, I never knew what to do with the money. And then after my mom had passed away, so many people had donated to the foundation, like kind of in honor of her. So I sat down with my brothers and my sister, and we were thinking about what to do. And the only thing that we could agree on we're not. It wasn't even.
Well,
really
I think
an
it was more
argument or
like
anything,
when
it was just like we'll do a scholarship.
so like when I think when a family
that's
member,
what we're
when a
focusing
family member
on.
dies, like you get monetary donations from
Right.
family, and obviously we didn't want to accept the monetary donations, so I think like even in their obituary we said send in lieu of flowers or send it to her Shots for Tots organization, and then we got to that first party that happened in the winter, and we were like, well, we have some money sitting in a fund that we wanted to ultimately do a scholarship for her anyway. So it kind of just, we're like, so all the money that really goes now into this event is centered into an art scholarship for a local high school student.
Right.
So
We
you
did
there's
it the
you got
past
the
2
toys
years.
are great. The toys you give off to the organizations that need them, and that could, if they have overage like they did in years, it's great. You know what I mean? But it's encouraged. Definitely bring it if you're bring a toy for a boy. If you're a male, if you're a female, bring a toy for a female.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be we're definitely gonna find a place for for those donations, and obviously if you care about the local community, and obviously the schools, and the students, there's an assault on education, it seems like, right now,
on
and
arts education.
there's so many things going on. At the end of the day, I think if the scholarship helps one person every single year, it's done its job. You know what I mean? So
ideally,
and that's really what you want. I mean, all the recipients that had it up, until here, have been, couldn't find a better recipient of that scholarship that's going to use it, to help pay for some education costs.
There aren't many art scholarships either in our area, and ideally it would be really cool to, if I am able to, raise more money and even make the scholarship district wide, or give away 2 scholarships even each year. Right now we just do, I do to a local Myers senior because that's where my mom went to school, and she loved Myers.
Big Mohawk.
She's all about it. So right now we just do it for a local Myers senior. But ideally, of course, you'd want to grow and be able to help more students.
Yeah, we want to welcome more applicants. So, any of your audience that's listening to the show, if they have, a son or daughter that's, in high school right now,
that has
start
any interest
there,
in the arts.
That has interest in the arts, can use, some additional funds applied to further their career there. Definitely ask I would imagine all the guidance counselors.
And also some incentive
school,
to study
know
the
about
arts.
it. So
Right.
ask your guidance counselor about the scholarship, how you can get, how you can apply for it, how you can get involved, and it's recognized right now by the Wilkes-Barre area school district as a possible scholarship, and that's what you do when you're in high school. You're gonna hey, I need help paying for college. What scholarships are available? This one is available.
You'd be surprised how many
students.
don't apply for scholarships though, because
Yeah.
you have to
Because your
write
guidance
an
counselor sucks.
Well, the guidance counselor at Myers is great.
Oh yeah, no,
But
yeah, I know.
a lot of them-
I'm not attacking.
That's true. My guidance counselor told me to drop out.
Yeah.
That's not a lie. I swear.
That's
on
true.
my word. That's actually true.
I remember that. That was horrible.
Yeah, they were.
That's
well, you might as
horseshit.
well
I could
drop
curse
out.
on this show. That's fucked up, man.
Oh, seriously though, those guidance
yeah.
counselors, I think they were just like a glorified I don't even know what to
A
call
lot
it.
of them. There's some that
I don't know
care.
what mine did.
I don't know what
Never
mine
heard
did.
from them.
Mine straight up told me to drop out of school.
I tell you, I had a great experience with my guidance counselors. For all the people that that want to help you, this poor guy,
There are people.
all these people that want to help me or help you or whatever throughout your life. Guidance
Were you talking
counselors.
to Johnny like him, like
yeah,
this poor guy?
Yeah, this poor guy. You know what I mean? And this poor
I'm
guy.
wearing a
And this
suit
poor
every goddamn
schmuck over
day.
here. It's a nice
This
suit.
is not
by
what
the
I
way.
wanted.
I know. That's what I
This is
said.
not what I wanted from my
Yeah.
life.
This is not my beautiful house.
Yeah, you're always gonna. What
How
my
did I
point
get
was,
here?
you're always gonna remember your guidance counselor.
But
That tried to help
anyway,
you.
Anyway, the point
It's
is,
an attack on guidance
you'd
counselors.
be surprised
now.
how
Come
many
on.
students don't apply for scholarships because when you have to write an essay or there's all this added work.
Or they might just not know how to access them,
Right.
how
Or
to
they don't know
find
what's
it.
Right.
there.
Sure.
They're absolutely right.
I
They
don't know
don't know how
how.
to access it. So.
But
Or they need a parent to help them, persuade them. Hey, have you looked at all avenues here?
the event has kind of been geared more towards building that scholarship in the most recent 2 years.
Well, my question then is, a lot of people, here might want to do something like that or whatever. How do you even go about starting a scholarship? What kind of things do you have to fill out and stuff like that?
I do the scholarship through the Shots for Tots Foundation. Mm-hmm. So I had already had my account and my EIN.
You had to start a foundation.
Right.
How do you go about doing that?
I did that back when I was 21, and my brother Danny helped me at the bank. So got me my tax ID number. And just went from there. You have to file some paperwork, obviously.
Depending on what kind of charity you want to start up.
Yeah.
You might need some additional paperwork.
So with the scholarship,
but that's something you want to talk to an account about.
Sure.
Yeah. So with the scholarship, I already had that kind of set up.
Yeah.
So everything with the scholarship just goes through my Shots for Tots. And it was easy to do that because with Shots for Tots, I did open an account for it when I was 21 or 22. I don't know if I had an account the first year, just had the toys. But I didn't deal with any finances or money. Mm-hmm. So it was easy to just kind of be like, okay, well, this is where this money can go. When people donated, this is where it can go, and this is how it could be, distributed and organized and, structured to be able to give the scholarship every year. So that's mostly what I did. The first thing I would suggest to do if you want to do something like that is talk to a banker and talk to a lawyer. And then they'll, depending on what you want to do, they'll tell you.
The two things that people
Brittany
love doing the most.
Half-ass all the time.
Talking to lawyers and talking to bankers.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
You talk to the people who are
and
experts
with the
in that.
scholarship, I spoke to
talk to the people.
What I did was reach out to the school when we started doing the scholarship. That was my first email, was to the guidance counselor at the school, and told her what I wanted to do, and told her I asked her, like, how do I start to do this? And she told me, make some requirements, make some qualifications.
Right, so you can be recognized.
Well, just so that it's, like, structured
Doesn't
scholarship.
every good charity kind of start out that way anyway? Where it's like, oh, we're getting toys, and next year it's like, oh, we're getting money, and then, oh, we need to be set up to do, things the right way, or grow the
informal thing.
Yeah.
And then
mine started very informal. Mine was just a birthday
party that ALS
I
Ice Bucket Challenge, right?
At the birthday party to bring toys.
Started out
That's essentially how it started.
Right.
Yeah.
I was literally throwing myself a birthday party, and
all right, so we go back to the roots of it. That's where it all started.
like mine started very informal, but it grew into something else.
Yeah.
So
what was that first year like?
The first year
everyone was drunk.
Oh my God.
Everyone was so drunk, man.
Santa was there.
Was Santa drunk too?
Santa was drunk.
Shots for Tots.
Everyone got pictures on Santa's lap.
It was just honestly, it was just an excuse to party.
But also do something
and we're in our early 20s.
And do good.
Yeah.
Like, we were already going out partying anyway. So it was like, and
bring a toy,
Yeah,
and
but
we'll
it was
some
like
toys, and
we were always throwing all these parties, and my family were always like, that's just we were no stranger to like hosting parties, growing up. So I just found a way to do it, I guess, and kind of do it productively in a way that is making some little difference.
So I've valued the whole experience really as it's definitely brought a lot of good memories to your family. You know what I mean? Like in the holidays too. Like just it just absorbs memories in the holidays. You always remember those times too. And
sure.
you suffer loss, and people. How you get through those things too is like family and friends.
Yeah.
And like I said, the thing takes on a new sort of character every single year. But it's really important, I think. Like, if you have a family you want to share something with, do something like a charity like this. It doesn't have to be about a scholarship for the arts. It could be about, whatever you care about.
It is something
if you could share it with your family and your friends,
yeah.
and you could celebrate every year, and you can make some good memories, and you can help some people, or somebody along the way. It's, that's what we're doing here. So.
That's one very cool aspect about it, is that especially when it was like my thing, to start off. And then when the scholarship came into play, it was kind of like, all right, I need you guys, like, I need your help. And like, now it has very quickly become like our family thing. And like our family.
We're all fighting about it every year.
Like our group chats.
Who's going to do what with the scholarship?
Yeah, like our group chats, blown up, and everyone's like crazy. But that's one very cool thing about it. It's something that, like, since to kind of put it in a light note and a dark note, like my siblings and I, like, we went through very difficult times together, and then we're also able to kind of go counteract that with coming together and doing something really positive and having like something that we could
share.
Relate, share, like you were saying.
Yeah, you can be proud of all the work that goes in, prior to it, and the people that you have a lot of people that help too. I mean, you should talk about those people. Like, there's people that have been part of this, event. Not asking for anything other than I just want to help and contribute. There's handfuls of people that have helped out too. So that's.
We're a very fortunate family in the aspect that people are just always very supportive no matter what it is that we're doing, especially something like this. They're extremely supportive. So there's never any lack of people offering their help or contributions or even just making food and obviously coming.
Sure.
So we've been super lucky in that fact. Like, we grew up in a community, South Wilkes-Barre, where people just have each other's backs no matter what. That's just like how it is there. And that's like that for other families too. Like, I know that we do the same for others. So like when it comes time for us, when we want to do something or we want to make a difference, we're super, super lucky that so many people are so supportive of that effort, which is really cool to see. And when it just also adds to the whole enjoyment of it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've talked about it many times, but you have obviously a different perspective on Wilkes-Barre.
I guess apparently I do.
Than the general public seems
What
to
part?
do.
What
Wilkes-Barre's
part of Wilkes-Barre?
Wilkes-Barre
The
seems
most southern part of Wilkes-Barre.
What is it? That was funny. When you said,
It's always the-
southernmost part of Wilkes-Barre
the
South.
My
butt
mom used to
of
dress up
every
like a
joke.
Southern belle and talk like that. And
Yeah.
she's like, I'm from the most southern part of the city. I'm like, Mama, you're from South Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah, don't get cheap on me, John. Don't get cheap on me.
Well, we're mixing these. We're gonna mix the Berwick.
Okay. All right.
I'll take it though. The Berwick Front Street wheat with the
Yeah, let's do it.
Fegley's Framboise.
Rock and roll.
I slammed a
Weird.
vodka club
For
before
the
I
kids,
came
not
in.
with the kids, for the kids.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm personally kind of sick of the jokes about Wilkes-Barre and like the jokes about like Sherman Hills and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're
Like,
not
I think
funny.
that stuff is so
It's not
old,
funny.
and it's a lot of times it's always like there's a hint of
It's stupid.
racism or whatever else thrown
Well,
in
it's
there
stupid
as
because
well.
that's the reality of everywhere in the world. There's
Right.
like lower income families and there's crime and there's bad people in the world. That's everywhere. That's a global issue. That's not a Wilkes-Barre issue.
Right.
So it's so funny that it's because I think a lot of people in this area are not cultured. I wouldn't say that people are.
They're
just,
not exposed to that.
They're not
exposed. They don't
until the
understand,
last,
like,
or they
that's,
haven't been exposed.
decade or so, maybe
Yeah, so
a
it's-
decade and a half at this point.
Thank you.
Oh, you're mixing that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. When did you
what
miss?
part of mixed? Do you
Yeah, what, did you miss the memo?
That's nice. Try something new every day, baby.
But yeah, there's this guy. He's posting this everywhere. He posted it on our wall, on our Facebook wall, and a bunch of other places.
Troll.
It was like it was a picture of
Brian gets deep into it with them.
of
He feeds
Santa
them.
with a machine gun saying, here's Santa delivering presents to Sherman Hills, ha ha ha, and it's like,
What's
are you
your way?
fucking
It's
kidding?
not funny.
Dude, what
It's
you already?
not- yeah.
It's stupid.
Exactly. Like this
it's
joke is not only
unintelligent-
so old, but
Yeah.
it's just it's so not funny.
It's
It's not,
like
it's not.
comedy is an interesting thing because to be comedic you have to have some form of intelligence.
Or go to a
So,
really
like-
dark place.
Or go to a
Yes.
dark place that someone could
Right.
or go to a dark place that people could relate to. That's funny. If it's a dark place that everyone shares, that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
But humor like that, and people resort to it so often because of just being lazy
Thank you.
intellectually.
Well,
Is
yeah,
Or
just-
it's just their nature to be combative too. I mean,
yeah.
they're-
Also, they just want to be pricks.
Right, and I think they think that's funny, like being combative,
Combative
is
is funny,
funny,
yeah,
and
it's not, yeah.
it's not. To me, the funniest things have a bit of like a slight bit of truth, or
Right,
they're
honest.
making some sort of commentary
That's relatable.
Do you like
with
Bill
the
Maher?
joke in there.
Do you like
Yeah.
Bill Maher?
Yes.
He does that.
Right.
The better than anybody.
Yeah,
He
You know what I mean?
levels.
He can make something
levels
really,
everybody out.
really serious, like just funny as shit, but also to just grade the hell out of the people that think the opposite of him.
Didn't you get in
Right.
trouble?
And he has that science or mental science to just do it. And you could take what the stuff that he says, like this is the things that we're talking about now, and that's what I love. I'll watch Bill Maher all the time, and he could just
Well, he's
make
able
a
to
political issue
dissect everything.
funny, and also just completely lambaste a whole base of people that think that way. And all in one joke.
The master of that was George
delivery.
Carlin.
And
Yeah,
he was
that's
great at that,
delivery
too.
in comedy.
George Carlin
So
was the guy.
yeah, I think you're absolutely right. He definitely.
But Bill Maher definitely comes close.
He's
Yeah.
getting there.
He
He's been
did-
doing it a long time
He
too now.
did get in
you know?
trouble a few months ago, but I mean that's the thing is when you do
For what he
comedy
said.
that constantly
Right.
pushes the envelope of what you can and can't say.
You're gonna
Every
get
once
caught.
in a while, you're gonna slip.
get
You're
caught.
gonna
have to
slip
have
up,
that
and you're
balance.
gonna
I think
offend the
that was-
wrong people.
But it was a joke. Like I mean, I thought I
I
wasn't.
personally wasn't.
I
What did he
wasn't
say?
offended, but I'm
Right.
white, so I have white privilege.
Exactly.
What did he say? I didn't even hear this.
It was and I could. He said the House N-word, but in the form of a joke. But
Yes,
he was
making-
trying to quote somebody that would have said that as a Republican or something like that.
Yes, exactly.
yeah.
He wasn't saying it.
So
in his
But he
Taking
said
it
it out.
from-
He said it on air. It was loud. Nobody laughed.
Right.
Here's the thing about what he did though. The next week, his next show, what did he do?
Apologize?
He
He
had
not only
he
apologized,
had Ice
but then he had
Ice Cube on
yeah.
there, okay, as on his panel. Ice Cube, 25-year-old hip hop, culture, L.A., West Coast, liberal, still had Ice Cube on the panel, and he killed him.
lambasted him.
He had a lifelong friend. I'm trying to think of.
Ice Cube did to Bill Maher.
Mhm.
Yeah, and he had affluent, prominent black men on his show.
Right.
I'm going to invite you on to just torch me, which they did.
And that's the
And,
thing
and,
is
and that takes a lot to do. Like you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, do you think that
That's
somebody would
brilliant.
just here come on my show and just roast me and torch me, and I fucked up really bad, and he welcomed it because he knew he deserved it.
And so many of those types of shows are so vanilla. Like they ask questions they already know the answers
Right.
to, and
Right.
it almost
You're
feels
absolutely right,
like
yeah.
like it's just we're going over the script or we're reading off of cue cards. And I like that his show can go off the rails like that.
Yeah.
And that they can say what they really want
Yeah.
to say and that
It's the
kind
beauty
of
of
thing.
HBO.
People love
Yeah,
going on
that's
that
one
show
of the very
because they
few
can
things
say
you
the
can
F
do.
word.
Right.
Like someone who's on daytime.
I think that's why people
Sense-
come on our show.
Right,
really.
right.
The
there
only,
you go.
the only reason.
Yeah,
I wanna
it's
say-
The only reason they're
literally
here.
the
They
only
want to say the
reason.
fuck word and they want to say it in front of a microphone.
fuck word.
Because it feels really good.
It only works if you say the F word.
Oh.
That's right.
The
yeah.
fuck word. The fuck word. I want to say the fuck word.
They do. People, they're expressing themselves. They want to do it right in front of a microphone. They feel accomplished. And
It's
I
for the
know
kids.
I did. It's for the kids.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of disingenuous, in my opinion, if you have an arts and entertainment show where the bands who curse on stage and their music, whatever else, and they have to be
Well, it's,
quiet
it's
and,
natural to you.
Right.
Do it. Be
Yeah,
yourself. It's
exactly.
not like
Like,
we come on here and we're like, you guys should totally curse because it's totally loud here. And at this,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah,
if
it's
it's
not
natural
like
to
a-
you, be yourself and be comfortable.
Yeah, you
That's
got
what a podcast
sailors
is.
on,
The best podcasts that I have listened to are because the people that are doing them have a way of making people feel so comfortable and at ease with themselves that they are their natural selves. So if it's natural to you to say the fuck word in the middle of a sentence, then that's fine.
Stop
But-
saying that.
Sorry. And that doesn't sound natural, right? Me saying that.
No, it doesn't.
No, that's all right.
Did you have this yet?
I did, and I like it. And I like it a lot.
Anyway, back to
Fucking
Sherman
love
Hills
it.
though.
Where did we go wrong?
Yeah, so what were we talking about, Bill Maher? But anyway, back to Shots for Tots.
Yeah.
Here, honestly though, one more thing about Sherman Hills. Seriously. But no, all right. So you have with Sherman Hills. I mean, we gotta figure out how to police that place. It's not a people problem. It's we gotta put some order in there and have people that actually want to fix that. Like any other urban community is gonna have. A tactical
That's
part of
not-
their police
Sherman Hills
department
isn't even owned
that
locally,
deals with
I
with
believe.
neighborhoods with crime.
I've always wanted to go over there and just talk to the people, just interview
Right.
them, just talk to regular
have I.
everyday
How
people.
are you?
Just
Yeah.
to put a human face on it, because every bit of news coverage that you
Right.
see on it is always just okay, we're only going over here. Can you comment on the stabbing? Can you comment on the shooting?
Right.
And it's these
Dude,
are just
why-
people
Or
trying to live
just
their fucking
include
lives.
them as members
Yeah.
of the community.
I'm
you
sure they're
know?
just as shocked and sad and
Right.
scared for their families as anybody else is in the fucking community.
Build bridges,
you know?
But
not
we're
walls.
not
You're
being
trying to build
programmed-
bridges, not walls.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
And where the guy you're talking about, the troll, he wants to build walls,
Right.
and
literally and
throw
figuratively.
some Sherman Hills peoples in there, and then we build a wall. Let's build a wall around Sherman Hills.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've,
Let's just
I've
do
heard,
that.
I've
all
heard
right?
that very phrase.
You know,
You'll
give me a fucking break, right?
Exactly.
You know, build bridges. Your idea and your approach is to build a bridge.
Well, they feel
You
isolated.
know, how can
because
you be
they're
a part of the
being
community?
isolated.
I can help you be a part of the community, man. You know.
Right. Exactly.
But that's another thing that I wanted to also kind of bring into something like Shots for Tots. And I was saying, ideally, if we could give more scholarships and make it more district-wide. But also, like, if I was able to get, like, the funds to kind of create programs for kids in communities like that, number one, might not necessarily, their mom might be, like, working 2 jobs and, like, raising them and not have time to kind of encourage them to do something creative or express themselves in that way. It's, like, so easy. That's where the problem's.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's where the problem gets
absolutely.
addressed. It's the kids in the community, because the people that they're looking up to, even though they might not be bad people, they might have had to make some bad choices to make ends meet, or that's all they know, because it's just a culture that is being recycled and recycled and recycled. So if you're able to kind of find a way that's like really intercepts the cultural norms for a community like that, and you're able to do that through arts and
Think about Michael
through
Vick.
athletics.
Dude, Michael Vick grew up in Newport News or Virginia or whatever. Like one of like the really highest crime rate. Like the culture there was dogfighting.
Mm-hmm.
What Michael Vick did was completely wrong.
Sure.
He went to jail, did his time. But what he did was scumbag-esque. You know what I mean? And I don't even own a
Scumbag-esque.
Scumbag-esque, right? Like he's this horrible thing. It's
Scumbag-esquire.
a horrible thing he did, but he was a product
But where
of
does
his
it come from?
environment, man. Like
Right.
that's what people did.
Right.
So him growing up, like he
It
he had a
normalizes
mentor, a guy who brought him
Normalizes
on,
it,
and
just like any other culture, any
game
other
mate.
community. When you're
Yeah.
a child, that's what you're introduced to, and that's what's normal to you. And it's not to get like all good Will Hunting on you guys, but it's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. And if you're able to find a way, like I have this like big wild dream that somehow you can kind of create these programs, and I'm sure people have tried to do this over and over.
That's how miracles
Like I have this
happen,
like
man.
Michelle
Yeah.
Pfeiffer Dangerous Minds dreams that I'm like gonna create these programs for these children that
She was badass in that movie.
yeah that
Dangerous Minds.
like building a skate park, for example. That's something that I always like thought about and wanted to be able to do. And
Yeah.
like those kids might not have a place to express themselves like that. They have the basketball court, Some kids, not every kid wants to play basketball, or like there's other ways,
Right.
like
yeah.
giving kids other opportunities to be able to express themselves so they don't get bored, because they're gonna get bored. And as a kid, we got bored, and like we get into trouble when we get bored. We break into warehouses and burn them down, or throw rocks.
Are you?
But you know what I mean?
That,
like,
that unsolved arson fire from 25 years ago? No, I'm just kidding.
he is.
Wilkes-Barre law enforcement.
Statute
No.
of limitations.
There's somewhere right now. There's some detective getting a beef.
Like
where
in
it's
a cold
hey,
case
do you
file, like-
remember that arson?
Can you imagine if that was like my demise?
We've only had
Would this be
one of
admissible
these
in court?
so far.
No,
Like if they came and
Should we
charged
have
you with
more?
like the arson fire on whatever street,
no,
would be. We should mess with the law enforcement. We should mess with the detective. That
we shouldn't.
it'd be so fun.
But my point is, if you're able to kind of intercept any of those things, even just for one kid,
Right.
and, like I would love for Shots for Tots to become this like insane, amazing thing that has like a whole system designed to interfere with kids effing up and like finding them ways to change their path or change their direction, and finding adults that have been through the same thing that found their way out,
Right.
and that navigated their way through all these speed bumps that everyone hits, but they hit it in a harder way, and they hit it in an environment where they don't have the support that they need to kind of get out of it. Like I keep saying how fortunate our family is. When we hit hard times, like we have each other. We're able to kind of get through it with each other.
Think about if you had nobody.
If you had nobody.
Sure.
So it's very easy to like find comfort in not expecting much from the world. So I feel like if you're able to kind of intercept a young brain's mind and thinking that that's not normal and that's not how it has to be, and that there's a beautiful world out there, and you could be a really great part of it, and you could have a really great effect on it. If you're able to do that for like young minds on like a large scale, I feel like that's how you change the world, and that's how you affect the world, the globe, and every little aspect of it for the better. I think it starts at home. I think it starts in your community, and I think that if you're able to do it, then you're gonna kill it.
This is where the war on education is bad, because that, like, what makes humans, American humans, would say that, like, come from no opportunity to opportunity, is that little bit in between, like education, mentorship programs, resources, money
resources
to do stuff,
is big.
and like right now we just got a
I don't want as a community for us to write off those kids
on education right now,
what
and programs that help people.
What amazes me is that you have teachers who are willing to dig into their own pockets to buy school supplies because the system won't pay for them. And yet you have these politicians who are making these decisions, who are rolling in money and getting kickbacks and everything else for cutting education, for giving money to their
But then you see
cronies.
people bitching on the internet or whatever about paying school taxes and not having kids.
Right. Exactly.
But like, then there's stuff like that, and then like everyone
it's
thinks
the overall community that you're benefiting.
Right,
Like, do you not understand that.
Yeah.
whether you have kids or not, like, this is the world you live in, and if you don't want it to be a better place, then don't live in it.
Right.
You
exactly.
know,
And don't reap the benefits of it.
Right.
Go live in the fucking woods.
Right.
Go
You Jeremiah Johnson all
generate
day.
your own electricity, pave your own fucking roads.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if you want to live in a community that supports their youth and supports education and youth and development of youth, if you want to live in that community, then you need to be a part of the problem and not the solution, or be a part of the solution and not the problem.
Yeah.
As far as
Well, should teachers pay more towards health benefits? Should we get into that?
No.
We shouldn't.
No, because
No,
teachers do just fine with
that
health
is
benefits.
that is definitely a conversation for another time.
Whereas
that I would like to
everybody-
have
in
is-
every
is
profession
important.
in this whole country, that premiums go up, and out-of-pocket expenses go up,
Right.
because of the healthcare crisis. Teachers do not,
But they go on strike because of it.
and it's so.
All right, let's not do this.
I can't get my head around.
Next time.
Next time on the NEPA Scene Podcast.
You have no out-of-pocket expenses for healthcare. Come on.
I really
What I will say though is that you have artists who, let's be honest, are always either flat broke or trying to make ends meet, doing other jobs, and then going out and playing for the weekend and hoping to make a couple of bucks off of that as well.
Yeah.
They're the ones who are volunteering their time
Right.
to stuff like this.
Like our guest last week.
Yes, exactly. And that's the whole. To me, that it's so amazing that these people are so generous. The same with the NEPA Scene Fest that we have coming up. Those are all people who are volunteering their Saturday night,
Right.
to not get paid, so that we can continue to support them in some way or another, which is really cool.
How about
And
that, yeah.
you have a cool house band at
Yes.
this event.
So it's AJ Jump and Nick Driscoll.
I love
so
AJ
far.
Jump, man. I love AJ Jump.
We're AJ Jump fans.
He's superior talent.
Nick
One of the
Driscoll
best.
as well. And I will say this on record. I think
Yeah,
Nick
he's
Driscoll
good
is
too.
probably one of the best musicians in this area, as when it comes to being well-rounded.
Yeah, he's very
and,
good.
like,
And
known.
underrated. Very
And underrated. Well, he
Very
doesn't. He's not a very public guy. He played shots. This is his second year playing shots for Tots, Nick,
Yeah, he did a good job
and
last year.
he's awesome. But
That's
he's
another
not.
thing. Come out to the show and see this great.
They're
these
good,
great
good music. It's
musicians,
quality
yeah.
music, and it's
Right.
just like a good hang.
Yeah.
You
It's
know?
like an old school.
And like,
it's like an old. How old
my
are you?
favorite part.
34.
So we're all in our 30s here. Remember like an old school hang?
I'm
like
not
remember
30 yet.
Murray's, It's like
I'm not
that
30
kind
yet.
of music, man. It's like an old school
I have
hang.
2 weeks.
You're not 30 yet?
I'll be 30 in 2 weeks.
Oh, I
Or
thought
3
you were
weeks.
like 31.
Are you kidding me? I will.
Fuck you up, man.
I will motherfucker. I will fuck you. Sorry.
I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah, I don't know either. But my favorite part about Shots for Tots is that everyone uses it as like their night to like get nuts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll be like, oh, like are you going out? And they're like, no. I was like, have you been going out? And they're like, no, but I definitely will for Shots for Tots because like everyone always like already anticipates.
You remember me 8 years ago at
But in that with saying that, there's never been any like skits.
No, there's been no problems at any of those events.
Because it's like a classy event too, but you could like totally black out if you want to.
Yeah.
And that would be appropriate.
Somebody will get you home.
Yeah, like you're
Is what you're
fine.
saying.
Like it's okay, you know.
Justin Mazer is also.
He's not. He's gonna be in Atlanta.
Okay.
He.
So it's AJ Jump.
AJ and Nick so far, and then.
We have John Merrick. We have John Merrick on.
John Merrick can come on.
Oh, we should get John Merrick in there.
It's cool that these guys
should
can
come
just
on the
get
show.
together and just play without
Yeah, like, it's
having
gonna be
really rehearsed that much or
Yeah, they just do their
done it.
thing. It's gonna be
Yeah,
an
they could
open
just
jam.
improv it, which to me,
Yeah.
that's mind blowing to me.
Yeah. So that's what it'll be like. It'll just be like an open jam. We like dance and get a little crazy.
I'm gonna bring him up real quick too. I was thinking about like how like John Merrick, who's a
Do you know John, the
you guys,
rapper?
you guys
He
know
just got
John
all
Merrick
that-
with the
He's a
that
good
new
guy.
video?
I'm thinking you're saying John Mayer. I'm like, he just had
Yeah,
surgery,
right.
so he's not available.
Can you text him and see if he can make it in?
We just talked earlier. He's
He just got out of surgery.
yeah. He sent me a picture. He's in a little robe.
Selfie robe.
What's
robe selfie.
John's video? Like, what does everyone know his video?
Well,
as?
I don't
Like
even
the
know. We
Wilkes-Barre
just
thing.
talked about that. He's a buddy of ours. So he did the rap video that got a lot of attention.
Yes, I saw that.
He can come on the show.
Oh yeah, he's great. That was like, I honestly, it was like kind of proud to like call my friend because I was looking at the comments like, goes back to the Sherman Hills thing too. Like, and everyone's got
Joe, my boyfriend Joe says, "Stop stealing the show."
Joe. All right.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
No. You finish. It's in our blood to interrupt people.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm constantly apologizing
Absolutely.
to them, but I like to interrupt people all the time. It's terrible.
Joe is her boyfriend's the Republican boyfriend that came to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but I'm the Democrat at their
Even-
Thanksgiving
Yeah.
dinner.
Oh, really? That's kind of
Yeah.
the worst. No, I'm just kidding. That was
No,
good.
I just don't hate it.
I think that it's Thanksgiving's past, but you know you have Christmas dinner coming up, so you're gonna have family, and I thought that was really funny. All those articles out there about whether you're a liberal or a conservative, what you do and do not say at dinner is really funny because the country really is when it
Very
comes to
much
that stuff.
Totally,
so you
totally
can't like
divides.
ruin a day like Thanksgiving, and I would never ruin that with Joe. So.
That's good. Thank you.
Joe, her boyfriend posted like a picture of on my Facebook wall of like Donald Trump with tanks just like, taking over the universe. And
He
I'm
was
like,
waiting for the
oh.
perfect time to
Yeah,
like,
that was
post
good.
that, too.
Yeah, and I felt like
Brian's very
I felt the
vocal
Trump
about-
tanks just take over me. Just roll
Yeah.
over. Just kidding. It's all right, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
It's sad that he would want that.
Yeah.
It is.
But that's good though. He texted you that less me, more you. He must really like you. I don't know.
Let's hope so.
You know.
And Johnny just keeps looking at his watch like,
It's like, dude, we gotta get out of here, man. With they got these boots out of the studio.
The boots, like, we have no, like, we're not very good at, we're very digressive, so.
So
We'll get right back
Well, no,
into it.
let's say
Well, to be honest, my watch said to be less fat and close your
John, can we
your
take a shot before
rings
you leave?
out.
Oh, yeah, we have shots. Can we do these?
yes.
Well, yeah, for the kids.
For the
For the
kids.
kids.
That's the one
So
with the
that goes, yeah.
This is the one with the octopus on it.
Yes.
This
They
is-
both
yeah.
were. We didn't do the bananas.
The one that reminded
This
me
is
of
the
the night that I
Kraken.
can't remember.
I don't want to do the bananas.
I would love to because that's like
It's very
history, but
Yeah.
Very hairy chaping.
I mean, the bananas are history. The peaches, I never had the 99 peaches.
All right.
That's pretty good.
Oh, dear.
for that.
Flip up again. Where are we going out for this? It's like my first night out. In
Eric is at home watching, like,
14 months, yeah. We were supposed to get a Christmas tree tonight, me and my family, but
Canceled.
You blew it off.
I
for this
sacrificed that to come here and hang out with you.
show. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Christmas is canceled.
I guarantee. So, like, as her boyfriend's watching the show, I guarantee you my wife is not watching. 'Cause my
Joe
wife
watches
hates-
every week. I feel like Joe and I should be friends on Facebook.
Who, Joe?
Totally should.
Yeah.
Brittany's
yeah.
boyfriend, Joe?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you should.
I feel like I know Joe, but I don't know Joe.
Yeah, he keeps to
I
himself.
feel like I would
Yeah.
like Joe. I keep telling her that all the
Oh,
time.
he's the best.
Johnny and Joe
He's
are
the
gonna
best.
be BFFs. I don't know what a bathroom key is, but
Yeah,
I
he's-
forget about it.
It's on the wall.
He's a hard guy not to like. He's a great guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just shouldn't have voted for Trump. That's all. This is just what it is.
We're gonna have to go on like a double date.
Well, we got, like, 2
Before-
weeks.
I know. I was gonna say before the baby.
Yes.
Got 2 weeks.
Oh, John,
So
you
we
have-
never
you
s-
have-
do
you
we
have
never
one
see you
coming?
again.
I have it, yeah.
Hey, congratulations, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Adding members is a good thing. That's what I call it.
Productive
Add a
members of
member.
society.
Add a member.
We're gonna
Add a
add-
member.
He calls it
Add a member.
recruiting.
We're going to add
Yeah.
productive members of society.
Stealth recruiting.
That's the goal.
this is fun.
Yeah.
What else do we have to talk about? Anything else?
Well, you want to give your final plug? We'll move on. We'll talk about the Scene Fest this weekend for a couple minutes, and then we'll wrap up. I know, right?
Shots for Tots. It is Saturday, December 16th. It starts around 7 p.m. You could bring a toy if you want. You don't have to. You could bring money. I would prefer if you did that. And AJ Jump and Nick Driscoll are going to be playing. And the money goes to a scholarship for a local student who wants to pursue the arts. And that's pretty much
And come.
the whole
Come.
day.
It's going to be fun. You're welcome. You're all welcome to come. Please come.
It's for the kids.
I don't know if you were saying like you're welcome as in like look what I did. You're welcome.
No,
Or
what
like,
I meant,
you're welcome
I
to
meant
come to-
you are welcome to come.
to come.
Right.
We want you all there.
We do.
Encourage you to come.
And it's okay to black out.
Yes.
But-
She'll get you home somehow.
Not encouraged, but
I'm gonna
Not
leave
encouraged.
I'm leaving it on your
Yeah,
shoulders.
we have an in with
But we'll
the
let you
Uber.
back in next year,
Yeah.
depending on what you do.
not
I don't know,
encouraged, but not frowned
You
upon.
can't like
Can we get-
really act up.
Can we get discount Uber rides for the folks that need to go home?
Yeah, we'll have my dad log into Uber.
Yeah.
Pop-up Fred drives Uber, so
Mhm.
we have in-house Uber.
But then we're fundraising for Fred because, Uber,
But then it just becomes
Uber,
like
Uber drivers take 80% of those that fare, so we can't
yeah.
Right.
Is that
we
what it
can't.
is?
At least, yeah. It's called a 20% technological fee. I think that goes
pretty
to
high.
Uber, and then 80% goes to the driver. Or something like that.
It's pretty high. 20% Uber.
Yeah, times like 85 billion around the world.
I know.
That's what they're
Right.
changing the way the world moves.
Yeah,
you know?
Right.
Is that their slogan? Because if it's not, it should be.
And
Changing the
killing the
world.
cabin.
Is that their
No,
slogan?
my friend. No, honestly, I don't
The
know. If
cabbies
it's,
are scary.
I don't know if it's like their
Yeah,
mission or vision
scary.
statement, but a buddy of mine that I went to college with works for Uber, and I had a conversation with him a few years ago, and he said, this is when Uber was like really climbing up, and he's like, that's what he said. He said, we're changing the way the world moves. And that
That's a great-
I didn't come up with that. That was definitely him. But maybe
Well-
it's like an internal message for just Uber people. I don't know.
Probably.
Good for them.
NEPA Scene Fest.
Yes. Ed Kuzo tuned in earlier and encouraged us to get wrecked. So
Thanks, Ed.
On our way.
yes, we're working on it.
This is the drunkest I've been on a podcast.
That's not true.
Yeah.
No, you've definitely been.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah, you might be right. I just keep
Mike Scheck
rolling.
said, "John, take off your jacket and your pants. He wants you to
Take off your pants and
too,
jacket.
and relax a while.
Little Blink 182.
Yeah, a
action.
little. Yeah.
See, what the thing about me is like I don't do.
Well,
I don't like to like loosen up your tie, take off.
Yeah.
It's either I'm
You're in?
100%
Yeah.
or I'm 0.
Or it's like 2 a.m. at a wedding and
I'm,
You're
and
still
I'm
in a
sweaty. I'll leave the vest on, bow
Yeah,
tie, everything.
Me too. Yeah. Well,
I go nuts. I'm sweating. I'm a mess, but everything's still intact. I'm 100% or nothing. Like that's just how it works.
that's a good way.
Take
to
a
That's why.
take a page of my book. 100% or nothing.
That's why we appreciate you, Johnny.
Thanks for. I appreciate someone appreciating me.
That's right.
Fuck
I
you, Jamie.
appreciate someone that appreciates me. Yes.
Oh, dear.
So
Appreciation.
speaking of appreciation, it's pretty cool that everybody got together and did this. We've talked about it a couple of times. This will be the last time I talk about it. Well, maybe we'll say next week. Like,
We'll do a
thank you
recap.
for We'll,
I'm still gonna come. I've tried to.
I would appreciate that. That would be fun. You'll probably get blackout drunk.
I probably will, because that's what I do when I go places.
But it's pretty cool. So
Sound.
it was my birthday, and I was hosting the open mic at the V Spot, which we just ended this week. Really, really good night, by the way. Lots of fun. I'm sure a bunch of you probably saw the live stream and stuff last night. A band from Jamaica won last night. Like,
That's
that is how unpredictable our open mics are. You never know who's going to walk through the
They're, like,
door.
straight from
These guys
Jamaica?
are like
That's
off the
awesome.
boat
That is
Jamaican.
awesome.
That's
Like
amazing.
the full accents and everything.
Oh, I love
and
that
they were
shit. I
so
love that shit.
fucking good. Like, it was like every,
What
like
kind of music?
there were people in the,
Jamaican.
there's always
Was it
people at the
reggae?
bar in the back who are like, oh, fuck this shit, whatever. Even they were like just dropping their glasses, like, what the fuck's
Was it
going on
reggae
here?
music?
It was reggae, and then they did a little bit of like classic, like Motown kind of stuff too.
I love that.
That's good
So
stuff.
yeah, I mean, and
That makes for
this
a
guy
good
had
time,
the voice
yeah.
for it.
Oh yeah.
Like he was just awesome. So you'll be able to see them at the finals on December 19th. So not this coming Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. We're going to be doing the finals at the V Spot. So please come. I know, like, the cover charge turns people away sometimes, but we're not going to live stream it. So you cannot cheat and just watch it online. You have to come.
And it's
see the
$5.
finals. Yeah, give me a break.
Give me a break. Support your local artists. $5. Come on.
That's true. Well, yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be
for as much as Rich has supported everyone.
And that's what it was that's when as if you watched our podcast 2 episodes ago, it was just me and John here.
Oh, yeah.
And we just kind of we're catching up about what we've been up to the past few months and stuff like that. Our guest had fallen through, so we figured let's just hang out and just talk about just ourselves and what's been going on and stuff like that. We all have busy lives and things.
Made fun of Brittany.
Yeah. We poked fun at Brittany a little bit.
Oh,
because you weren't here. That's what happens.
What are we?
If I'm not here, you can always make fun of me.
You hated us and half the world. Essentially.
Yeah, that's
that
what we
day
told,
probably.
That's what we told everybody.
Not you guys, but half the world for sure.
So I admit I was probably a little too cynical, a little too it's been a rough year. It's been ups and downs. Running an independent publication has its privileges and it also has its downsides. And the privileges are that we can do uncensored things like this. We can be more creative. We can do different things. We can take risks. We can report on stuff that's not approved by some corporate master or anything like that. And it's fun, that part of it I love. I love not having to answer to anybody or worry if I don't work hard enough that I'm going to, someone's going to cut my job and replace me with somebody else who gets paid half of that or anything like that. So it's cool that we have that privilege. At the same time, being independently funded, we don't have, a sales team to go out and sell ads and things like that. We don't have strapping young men like John here to do that kind of work. We don't have the privilege of a steady paycheck all the time. Most of the stuff that we do is free. It's on a volunteer basis, and people come and go. Some people are like, hey, I can write this for a while, and then I can't because life gets in the way. I do other things. I have to take this paid gig over this free gig. So I totally understand that, and that's how things have been. So we've kind of been on that precarious, are we going to be here or are we not going to be here thing for the past 3 years. I really didn't know what I was doing when I was getting into this. I had the experience of running publications in the past, but I didn't have the ability to fund all of that too. There's other people to do that kind of stuff, and I didn't have that. I didn't want to be, I'm more of what they would call an accidental entrepreneur, where you more or less fall into it. And you want,
Whoops, I got a show.
Now I have a whole website that I have to do. Now I'm the editor of this publication, and I have to dole out jobs to people and send people this and that. Make sure this gets covered or that gets covered, and people cancel at the last minute, and then I have to go run and do it, or that sort of thing. So it's been a whirlwind. It's been up and down, and there are times where I said on that show, and I meant it. There's probably been over 20 times or more where I've said, I can't do this anymore. This has got to end. It's too much pressure. It's too much work. It's, I'm not making the money that I should be making for the work that I'm putting in, that sort of thing. So when something like this came up and people said, hey, I want to give back, I recognize what you're doing, and I love what you're doing, and I value what you're doing, that really changes the game. It makes me feel good and encourages me to keep going, that we're making some sort of impact in the community. And so that's why NEPA Scene Fest, it means so much to me. It's so important. I hope that you can attend. It's this Saturday, December 9th at 7 p.m. We'll probably go till about 9 or 10 or so. It's at the Backyard Ale House in downtown Scranton. It's only $5 to get in. Jess Mione, who we've had on the show before, is hosting. We have Dan Hoppel, Joe Craig, Ted Hebert, Eric Drexler, Alondra Rivera, Russell Austin, Angelia Petrillo, Katie Evans, Candy V, Anthony Motini, better known as Shiny, Elliot, Brian Walsh, and the Charming Beards. So lots of really good acts, music and comedy. So if you're a fan of our open mic events and things that we've done, you're going to enjoy this night. If you're just a fan of local entertainment in general and you want to support what we're doing, we would love for you to come out and do that. And people have shown their, it's not like it's all been, no support up until now. Everybody's always been really cool about sharing our articles, making a difference in that sense, because we are a digital-only publication. So we really rely on people clicking those links and sharing them and making sure that our stuff gets out there. So if you are, if you're online and you're not seeing our stuff, which Facebook has been really good at lately, unfortunately, just go to our page in itself. Just go to nepascene.com on your own, or go to facebook.com/nepascene. Don't wait for it to just show up in your feed, because sometimes it never does.
Why is that?
Despite having
It's
over
just the way that they have it now.
14,000 users. Well, the main problem now is, and we're not the only publication suffering from this. There are national publications who are dealing with the same thing. Facebook is continuing to limit how many people see your posts unless you pay them. So they're more or less, they've done what a lot of online businesses have done. We're going to give everything away for free, and everything's going to be great for a little while, so then you're hooked. And then we're going to start taking it away a little bit by a little bit until eventually you're paying for all of it. It would be like if Netflix gave it all away for free, and then all of a sudden started like, oh, we'll charge $1, or we'll charge $2, now we'll charge $3, and so on and so forth.
So Facebook could just like Russia could just,
yes, they
could hack an election through Facebook, and
and that's the thing is
get a guy elected,
that's what bothers me the most about them as a company is that they will take Russian money in rubles.
Right. The rubles here in northeastern Pennsylvania,
and think nothing of it until they're called out publicly, in front of Congress, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I guess we shouldn't have done that," but it's too late by that point. The damage is done.
I caught that news a couple weeks ago.
But like small businesses and things like that, all over, not just mine, not just other publications, but small businesses in general are suffering.
Call me a snowflake, but that makes me sad.
It sucks.
That makes me sad.
And it sucks because you earn how many, you have to earn those likes. The people that are liking your page, they want to follow you for a reason. They're saying, okay, I like your page and I want to see more news from you. I don't want to see news from you every 6 months. I want to see news from you often,
Right.
And that seems to be the case. Is we have over 14,000 followers, which is nothing to shy away from for an independent publication. It's more than some of the local print publications have that have been around for 20 years or more. And we've only been around for 3. And yet a lot of people aren't seeing our posts, not even seeing this podcast. Because when they started the live stream thing,
they want you to pay for those.
They want,
views,
put a couple bucks on it and then we'll give you more views and so on and so forth. So they continue to limit that. So every time somebody even just shares our links, that's so important to continuing our mission of getting this stuff out there, because obviously we don't have the budget to do this kind of stuff. As I joked last night, the last open mic event that we did, we hand out paper ballots to people so that they can vote for their favorite acts, and that's how we decide who goes on to the finals. And I had to use the papers from last season that had last season's name on it because I ran out of paper and literally could not. I don't have enough money to pay for the ink in my printer to print more or to go and get copies made.
Dude, man, why don't
print more.
Why don't you call Dwight from Dunder Mifflin?
I should have.
Hook you up with some paper, man.
He probably would have hooked me up with some beats maybe and a couple of sheets of paper.
That's how easy it is. You just call Dwight. Paper. Bang.
So it really is kind of we're not a fly by night thing. We're here to stay. We're going to continue to do the job that we've promised to do, despite any of that bullshit that happens in between. But we need your help. It's not something where you can take this kind of stuff for granted. You can't even take your local print publications for granted anymore. It's one of those things where all those things are going away now. Even the fact that a couple of months ago the Village Voice said they're calling it quits and going just online only is a big sign of the times.
Right.
And even then, and I, obviously I promote digital. I want to do more stuff in the digital realm. But at the same time, it's like that was a staple, for so long. You can go to anywhere in New York and pick up a Village Voice and read that. Maybe it's not the publication it used to be, and you can argue that all you want. But that's because less and less people support it, and then they all cry when it goes away. And you see that happen all too often, and not just with us, but with local venues and things like that too. I'm so sad that place closed. Well, when was the last time you went? Well, like 2 years ago. Well, maybe that's why it's not there anymore.
There was just like a Hard Times article that said, like, oh, so bummed about the record store closing that you never shopped at.
Yes, exactly.
That's so
another
funny.
another great example.
That's so like that's
So
the best way to
true.
put it. I mean, that's funny because
It's just true.
I'm gonna say that and mean it.
so many complainers.
Still in gallery sign every goddamn week. Ugh.
But I don't know if I was a little too negative on the last time we talked about this. So I really want to end on a positive note and thank those people.
Here.
Hey.
For the kids.
I think hold on. I think he has something to say.
What's that from?
I got something to say.
Yeah.
I won't
That's
keep
right.
us here, all night or anything.
I gotta piss.
I had to go. I never had to go
Yeah,
so
me
bad
too.
in my life.
Yeah, gotta break the seal. But I asked people on my own page, and I will ask people on our page tomorrow for you to share your stories about NEPA Scene. I want to hear if we have had a positive impact on you or your business or your band or whatever in any way, shape, or form. I'd love to hear your story about how we've made an impact on people, because I get people all the time who come up to me and say, you changed my life in this way or that way, and that to me that means the world, because to be essentially just a blog, and that's, even though we do so much, it's how I still see it. It's just a blog. At the end of the day, I'm just a writer. I'm not anything special. I don't think we're doing anything
Special to
that's
me, Rich.
crazy. But people really do take our stuff to heart and take what we do to heart. So thank you for sharing those stories. I'm definitely going to put some kind of collection together of those, maybe an article or something like that. But it's pretty cool that we've had such an impact on people, and it's varied. Sometimes it's just like, hey, you helped promote my band. Other people, it's like, I met my future wife because of you. So it's like there's so many.
Oh,
different...
really? That's awesome.
Yeah,
You had that?
Yeah, we
And he's gonna
That's
marry
fantastic.
them too.
I'm actually going to marry them as well. They want me to, so I have
They
to.
want me to.
I have to get that certificate pretty quick, because.
Do you know Larry David from Curb Your Enthusiasm?
We're gonna go
Yes.
off into a whole like.
Do you know that
tangent.
there was a poor son of a bitch in Los Angeles, California, who got acquitted on murder charges because his alibi was being in the Curb Your Enthusiasm background shot at Dodger Stadium.
And that was
Los
true?
Angeles County prosecuted him. You committed this
How did we
murder.
just get
He's
into
like,
that?
no, I didn't do it. No, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. I swear to God. It was some Mexican guy. Mexican guy's got a mustache, he's bald head. He's Southern California Mexican guy. So they coined this murder on him, and he's like, no, I didn't do it. And he had a really good lawyer. The guy was like, no, I was at the Dodgers game. Los Angeles Dodgers.
It sounds like an
was-
episode.
No, this is
No,
fantastic. This is
yeah.
awesome, man. This is exactly what you were talking about. And the lawyer was so good that he went through like thousands of hours of people's video, and the owner of the Dodgers actually, cooperated with him to get him all the video that he wanted.
Yeah.
And he finally found a couple shots and frames that had the dude.
Johnny has to
With
be
Larry
so
David though,
mad.
Larry David was like filming a scene with he was taking a hooker to the Dodgers game. He was taking a hooker to the Dodgers game.
How did we get here?
Well, because
happen?
because he said that one of his
What the fuck happened?
one of his viewers met his wife on or through NEPA Scene.
That-
So that's how
So obviously,
a little show like
that's
that.
obviously connected.
I don't understand.
A little show like that, and like all of a sudden you got a dude getting acquitted on murder charges.
He's saying so small
Larry
small
David.
things lead to big things.
Small things that you don't see lead to big.
That
things.
was brilliant.
Now I have
Brilliant.
I have a goal for 2018, and that's to get somebody acquitted of murder
There it is.
I like it.
because of NEPA.
So then you can be like, I was on the NEPA
I was on-
podcast.
Right.
Dude, I
I
was-
was here the whole time.
Dude, I know I was on the NEPA See, what is the show called?
What's going on right now? Is something happening outside of this podcast? Is there a reason you're here?
You know, it was that next shot. That's what did
There it is, man. That's all it is.
Just put him right over.
No, honestly, you know what though? I don't remember the name of the Netflix document. Netflix did a whole documentary on this. You can find it on Netflix.
The Making a Murderer? Yeah,
Larry David, and he's in the documentary like, I got a guy off acquitted of murder because he's got like his.
If the
like,
glove don't fit.
Yeah, and he's like, I got this guy off murder.
All right, we have to wrap it up.
Yeah, wrap it up. I'm sorry, but that's hey, people helping people. There it is.
Yes, there it is.
Moral of the podcast today. Oh gosh.
What did that one band say? It was Tommy from Dustin Douglas.
Yeah.
What did he say? Shit. It was like one of the ones that people helping people.
People helping.
Oh, yeah.
But it was like
It's a positive thing.
Fuck. God damn it.
We'll have to go back.
All right, we'll go back.
But thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you for supporting NEPA Scene for the past 3 years. And this kind of crazy shit is, the reason we can do this is because of people like you, because of friends like Cole Creative who give us the space to be able to do this and sit here and listen to us babble for an hour every week or more. So thank you so much for tuning in. We hope to see you this Saturday and next Saturday at Shots for Tots at Barton Irby's.
For the kids.
Absolutely.
For the
For the kids, yeah.
Thank you.
Shots for
Have a good
Tots,
night.
Barton Irby's.
Peace.